Hi. Hi everyone. How are you? Have you ever wondered how you could make one of these wreaths using an evergreen pine? Have you ever wondered how you could do it more cost efficiently? Well, I'm going to show you that today. My name is Jamie and I am the owner of Stuffs and Things by JD, and I'm happy to show you what I like to do. This is a 24-inch evergreen base, and I've just already cut my mesh about 22 inches. I really don't measure, I just kind of pull it up and snip, but they're about 22 inches. And then I'm just going to alternate colors here and fill in my evergreen. Now, one of the favorite ways I like to do that is I take my mesh sheet, just kind of roll it up on the ends, crinkle it up through the middle like this, and then I'm just going to shove that bad boy right in here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And you'll see we have this all done, right? Now, you can stop here and leave this as a circle, but one of the things that I really like to do is push this together on the sides and make this an oval. Why do I do that? I like to make my wreaths huge. So this is going to make this huge when I squish this in on the sides, because it's going to make it longer. It's going to give me more room to work. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just literally going to take it over here on the back, and I'm going to push it up against myself here. And you see how it's now really long instead of round? Let me show you what it looks like when we get it put on there. Okay, you see that? See how full that looks? Now let me show you something else. So the one last thing that I do want to do before we move ahead, I then want to put some zip ties on the back of this thing, because it's just going to give me a little bit more stability. So I'm going to take two really long, black zip ties, really long. See how long they are? And I'm going to pull them together right here, and then I'm going to zip tie the back of it and give it a little bit more stability. Let me show you what I mean. Here. Oh, by the way, did you like my easel? I got this easel on sale. It was like 50% off at Michael's. All I did, I just put a little screw in the top right here. See that? And this is the perfect size table easel. Normally I work on a huge floor easel, but I like this when I need to work at my table. So this works perfectly. All right, so, I mentioned to you, I like to do things in a little bit more of a cost efficient way, right? So let me ask you, have you ever used a garland? A big old long, see how long this garland is? Have you ever used a garland? Well, we're going to use it today, because it's going to be so easy, right? So, again, I got this garland at Michael's. I'm just going to cut the tag off. You'll see here, it's an Ashland Michael's garland, 20 bucks. I got it on sale. Don't ever pay full price. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to figure out where I want this to be, and I'm just going to kind of gauge this around, right? And I know I need it to end right about here-ish, here on this little point. So since I want some additional coverage, I'm going to go behind the leaves and snip right about in here, because I want to have a little bit of a piece right here to tie into my wreath. So I'm going to, and then I need another piece for later when I use that one. So I'm going to snip it right in here. See how I did that? Got an extra piece that we can use for another project. All right. Now, this is the other end. You can cut this off if you want to. I'm going to, or you can use it as additional leverage. I'm going to cut that circle off, though. There's like a little notch in here, right in here. I don't know if you can see the notch, but I'm going to cut it right there. It's going to still give me some nub to use, okay? Here we go. how fast that was? We already have a base built. Now, let's continue with that thought process. So, I have picked out my ribbon, which I'm going to move out of my way. And then I am going to come in with some florals. And I love the pop of these colors. They are so bright, full of neon, and I love it. So I'm going to use this. And this is, again, another garland. This one's from Hobby Lobby. But it's a garland. I mean, we could just do a little luau. All right. So I am going to, again, start down here at the bottom where my bow is going to be. I'm going to snip off my tags. My snippers. Wherever they need to be. Snip that off. And that's literally it. Like, we have almost a full wreath, and all we did was put 2 little garlands on there, right? I have lots of other flowers that I want to throw in here, so we're going to do that. But let's talk about our sign and our bow. So again, I'm using this sign. This is one of those signs that I got it at home, so it came from at home. I'm just going to literally cut this chain off so that I can use the sign itself. Cutting this off. Alright, and so you see we've got a couple of little spots up here that we could use some zip ties to secure that with, and that's really all we need to do here because that will be just perfect. I like to take my tags off. I don't know if everybody else. Do you take your tags off the back of the sign? What about your handmade or your ones that you buy from Etsy where other shops take and put their business on the back of their signs? Do you take them off? I like to leave them because what if the customer really likes the sign and wants to use it? At home sign sticker, I take it off. Okay. So let's get out a couple more zip ties. And you know what I haven't used so far? What's the one thing that I have not used that is the #1 favorite thing that wreath makers like to use? Can you guess? Give me a comment if you can guess. I'll tell you. It's a secret. Favorite thing we like to use is Gorilla Glue, right? And so far, I haven't had to even use any Gorilla Glue. I love it. Not that I don't like glue, and I will have to use glue. But all right, so let's go in and put our sign. You'll see I put in 2 zip ties, right? In those little rings. And let's figure out, I think I want this kind of picking out right here in these pretty flowers. So I am going to take this and go right around the base. Now you'll know that I am not putting this around some pine needles because I really want to secure this in. So I'm going all the way down to the back and around the metal frame of the evergreen. I really want to make sure that this sign is secure and it's not going to fall off, okay? Now I'm just getting it started until I figure out where I want this side. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go all the way back through the very back and make sure we're weaving this around the entire frame. Okay, now let's pull this one a little bit tighter. You see I still have a little mesh sticking out. It's perfectly fine, not a problem. Okay. Alright. Now if you want, you can put another zip tie or a chenille stem and glue it down and put it down here in the bottom. I really don't want to do that. I'm just going to leave that just like that.